Welcome, Formicast fans, to another episode of Formicast Podcast, your source for everything ant keeping. I'm your host, Durka, and with me is my co-host.
Huzzah! I am the colonialist, your ant-keeping wingman across the pond. And just to let you guys know, there are still redcoats storming around North America. They're my own little special soldiers, Myrmica. So get that. Haha, we're still there. We're still there, flying the flag. So
Mm, okay, let's.
I'll give that one back. But happy Independence Day, guys, or Traitor Day,
uh,
as we like to call it. But
yeah.
we do love you guys. We're all on the same side now. We should
Yep.
have still been under the same royal family, but hey,
Uh,
you guys didn't want to pay taxes to the king, and
yeah.
here we are.
No. We
Now you pay more taxes to your government instead.
no kidding. But anyway, this isn't a history podcast, so I'll let those history podcasters do their thing. We're talking about ants, right? So let's get into this. I have a beer in my hand today because it's Independence Day, so I'm going to celebrate with a beer today. If you guys are listening and if you are actually an adult age and want to have a drink with us, now's the time. Make sure you pour yourself a drink. But yeah, let's get into it. We got some weekly updates. So this past week, I caught about over 30 Tetra Queens right next to the house, which is pretty amazing. And I also posted on Instagram. I was like, I think I may have an issue here. But anyway, I sold out of Chromatogasters. I have no more for sale or for trade. I only have the one that I'm keeping for myself. Speaking for sale or for trade, I have 6 Lasius Queens with workers that are still available for Michigan residents. So if you're in Michigan and you're interested in getting some Lasius Neo Niger Queens that have workers or want to wait until Labor Day to catch them during their nuptial flight, definitely let me know. We'll be setting up a Michigan ant together in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So if you're interested in that, that'll be a lot of fun. I decided to do a little experiment of my own with 2 of my Tetra Queens without actually like showing everybody on YouTube or anything like that. Actually, like having it published. I just am curious. I have caught so many. I've caught so many Tetra Queens, and I've had a couple of them die. And so yesterday I was outside setting some stuff up for what we're gonna do later today. Or I was doing some stuff on TikTok, experimenting with firecrackers, so that was fun. And I like went down to where I normally caught those queens, and I saw one, and then I saw another. And as I was driving yesterday to go to Jackson, Michigan, to pick up 2 Campbell pens and a winter ant species, I ended up when I came back, I ended up as we were talking about how it could be possible for Tetramorium queens to have multiple queens colonies. So I decided to take 2 of them, and they ended up not really attacking each other at all when I put them together. And I checked on them here recently to see if just to see if they were still alive, if one of them killed the other, or if they're both still alive, and they're like next to each other, and they're keeping each other safe. I guess they don't seem like they're killing each other or harming each other. So good so far? Question mark. I don't know if you guys have any opinion on that. Yeah. So that's pretty fun. Got to meet one of my listeners when I went to Jackson, so I want to shout out to Furious George. Thank you so much again for those ants, man. They're doing well, and hopefully you enjoy the Chromatogaster and Lasius colony that I gave you. I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to transfer them to any new test tubes. I ran out. Tetramorium, it's Queens, it's your fault. Because I went kind of batshit crazy and decided to collect 33 of them or more, because I've lost count of how many I've caught. Recorded a field test of fireworks versus the Gel Ant Farm. Video could be coming out tomorrow on how that went. That was a lot of fun. My friend Chris came over, and we just, he helped me set up the camera. We decided to do that at night, so that was fun. And you guys saw on TikTok and Instagram the 16-second trailer of that. That was a lot of fun. I've even had people at church today just tell me, they're like, "So yeah, we saw you playing with fireworks the other day, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Wait until the full video comes out. It's gonna be so much fun." And And then after this, I'm taking the gel ant farm down to the bonfire, and we're going to completely get rid of it. Um, you'll see after this, we'll go live on Instagram, and I'll take it down there. Season 3 will be coming up after the birthday of Formicast. The 1 year we'll be starting a third season, so there'll be some changes to the show structure. We're gonna do things a little bit differently. I don't know fully of what that's gonna look like, but we will get into that. And last thing for me would be I'm doing another Portmore art unboxing video as soon as I get the new 1 year all in one ant nest thing that they put together. It's gonna be really cool. I'm excited to get that. I just got some more ants that I need to. Oh, speaking of ants, my Noive Campo Nuribericensis. Hopefully I said that right. That queen has a bunch of cocoons, like probably close to like 6 or 8 of them that I've counted. And so she's gonna have a bunch of workers to start off with, which is freaking amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me when it comes to weekly updates. What about you, JB?
Well, the petition to ban gel lamp farms within the UK got published by the government.
Mhm.
In honesty, when I first made the petition, I wasn't sure it would pass the government standards or it would be taken seriously enough by the government to be published. I thought it might be seen as a hoax. So that's absolutely massive news. But now it's the long road ahead to get enough signatures. So if you're in the UK, it doesn't matter what age you are. There's no age limit on signing a petition to the government. So you get to exercise your right that could affect, something major. So definitely get on there, put in your email address, put in your details, and sign that petition, because the more people who sign it, the more serious people are going to take us, and we could actually make a massive difference towards getting these horrible gel farms banned. Hopefully more people take on that cause and get involved. I had an interview about it with the Antkeeper magazine, so that was really exciting. They're going to publish an article on their website, I believe. So keep an eye out for that. I'll post links to it in my blog site, and I don't know if you want to stick it on the podcast site as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
And I've got a new species, ant sleuth. Basically, put an offer I couldn't refuse. £45, including delivery for Harpegnathos venators. 12 in total for 11 workers, one queen. So. Yeah, I put an episode up on YouTube with a natural build that I did for them, and they're happily housed. So that's been exciting. That's pretty much my week as it's been, to be honest.
Yeah. So going back really quick to your petition, I do want to say for those listening and watching to this, if you guys live in the UK and you sign it, don't just stop there. Please do your part, guys. If I was in the UK, if I was a British citizen, I would be signing it. I'd be sharing it. Please, guys, do your part. It really helps. Like the word of mouth is probably the fastest way of marketing there is. Like, tell people, dude, guys.
If you can get 2 or 3 people to sign, and they can get 2 or 3 people to sign, and they can get 2 or 3 people to sign, before you know it, we have 100,000 signatures, and this is actually going to get debated in Parliament. After 10,000 signatures, the government will have a look at it and give us an official response. Exactly. So definitely be interested to see the official response. And you don't even have to like ants. You just have to believe in the welfare of pets. That's what this is genuinely about, the welfare of pets. And these products, they don't provide any welfare for the pets that we have, and they do more damage and more harm to the hobby than they do good. And they could use them in ways that would be beneficial. They could trade out these products and have products that are designed like other hobbyist stores for the benefits of the ants, and continue making the same profits. They don't have to continue profiting off something that does the opposite and doesn't do what it should.
All right. But yeah, one more thing about that. Like, guys, tell your parents, tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell anybody on the any random people on the street. Like, hey, do you like animals? Do you like pets? Yes? Okay, cool. Sign this petition. It's talking about welfare of pets. Even if you don't like insects, if you don't like ants, it's still talking about welfare for animals. Like, if you care about animals, sign the petition. if you live in the UK. If I could sign it, I would have signed it, and I would have had my roommate sign it. I would have had people that go to church with me sign it. I would have had my coworkers sign it. Get it signed now. All right, that's enough of that. Off my soapbox.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. So, we're gonna do a quick little break, but we're gonna go into so the break will be one of the updates to all this stuff is we're gonna change up how we do some stuff around the show for the next season. But what we're gonna do for this one right now, we'll talk about. So, speaking of shout outs, there aren't any new reviews for the show. And there hasn't been any other people donating for the show except for the one person that did last week. So I kind of want to get into this really quick before we get into the actual segment that we're focusing on. And I know if you're listening to this or if you're watching this and it's not exciting, I know it's not. But listen, guys, it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of time and energy to make this for you guys. If you can't afford to make a donation once a month or to donate $5 or any amount of money to help with the show, we're trying to figure out. So the website costs money, which I take that on my own pay to pay for that, which is it's nothing, but it really helps. And there's so many things we could do with the show if we had financial support. I'm not begging for money. You don't have to give me money. However, there is something you could do that will help and it won't cost you a dime. Go on to iTunes, go on to Apple Podcasts, go to the show, whatever country you're in. You can, if you have an iPhone, if you have a MacBook, go on to iTunes, go to Formicast Podcast on iTunes, leave a 5-star review. Hit 5 stars, leave a comment. I'll read it on the show. That will get the show noticed. And if you don't have any of those things, you can get on your computer, install iTunes on your computer, and sign up and do it that way. It'll help us so much that the show will get noticed more, and we can get this out there, and people will be more aware of ant keeping. So that's all that I got to talk about that. So guys, if you want to donate to the show, go to formicastpod.com. It takes 2 seconds, probably a minimum of a minute at least, to go on there, fill in your information, and donate to the show. If you could do that, it would really help. Thank you so much. All right, let's get into the actual content of the show. All right, so we're talking about North America. So one of our Patreon members, Catfart, had sent me his top 5 North American species. So this is his list, and then I'm going to go into what my list is, and JB will kind of go into what his list is. So the top 5 for Catfart is honeypots, pogos, Attitexana, Campo novibericensis, and Campo nicobericensis. And then honorary mention of Campo pen and Herculanus. So what is your top 5, guys? Tag us on social media. Let us know what your top 5 is, and we will share that on social media and tag you back. All right. So my top 5, of course, my pogos. This is what I keep. So I'm basically talking about what I like right now. So of course my pogos are my favorite because they're my first species and I love them. So they're great. Probably my second favorite would probably be Camponotus novibericensis. I just love the New York Carpenter ant. For some reason, I really like the color scheme of this ant and how big she is and everything. And how I caught her was pretty great too. So she's number 2 for me. Number 3 on my list of what I like would probably be Chromatogaster because they're just adorable and they look like they're dangerous, but they're probably not. But at the same time, they're just adorable. Probably 4. I don't know why I picked this over Lasius, but I picked Tetromorium as my 4th. Probably because I got to witness a ant war with them here recently, so I got to see that. And I just caught so many of them. It's probably the most I've caught of one species yet. So it's probably why I picked Tetramorium over Lasius neonigers. And number 5, Lasius neonigers. They're adorable as well. But yeah, that's my top 5. What's your top 5, guys? And JB, what's your top 5?
Well, if we're going by the ones we've kept, then I've only kept Myrmecocystus mexicanus, which is a honeypot species, and 2 different types of Pogonomyrmex. Sadly, my North American species didn't make it. I don't know if it's just trying to find the correct environment when you're working with a completely different environment, and there's a lot to learn with that. I've definitely learned some processes and some new things that I'm going to try, and this year I'm getting them again. So my top 3 in that case would be the Myrmecocystus mexicanus, which is honeypots, and then the Pogonomyrmex badius, because I just liked them. They were smaller and brighter coloured, and then the Pogonomyrmex barbatus, which are pretty cool, both the harvester ants.
Yeah, for sure.
I have to hit up Tar Heel ants again, because that's my plan.
Yep.
Is to do what everyone in North America does and try out with the Tar Heel ants.
For sure. Mac, if you're listening to this, I really want to interview you. Every single time I get a species from him, they do great. So, shout out to Mac.
He has a solid reputation.
So. Yeah, for sure. He's probably so busy. That's probably why he's not able to get on the show. But if you're listening, Mac, or if anybody listening knows him pretty well, can nudge him in the side for me. That'd be great. You said you have a link here for.
It was in 2013.
Okay.
There was a new species of Pogonomyrmex found in the Mojave and the Sonoran deserts in North America, which was the Pogonomyrmex Hoel-Dobleri, I think it is. Or
yeah,
I'll go with that. Hoel-Dobleri. Bit of a mouthful, but let's just hope that the pictures are clear since it's got the name blurry in it. But see how that goes.
Yeah.
But it says it's a new interesting it's quite an interesting species because they have like larger eyes, which means they have better sight, and it's kind of just they're slightly different to other Pogonomyrmex. The link is in there if you want to check them out.
Where's the link at? Is it?
It's just down below.
Is it the first link here? Desert ant?
Third one down.
Third one down. Okay, I see it.
Yep.
Copy. That's them?
Yep.
So that's what they look like, guys. Cool. It's pretty cool. All right. So we got 2 little quick videos here. So for those who are listening, definitely check out the actual video on YouTube. I'll just let this play really quick. Propaganda. All right. Skip trial. All right. Here we go.
While honeybees will collect and store their food in combs, certain species of ants take a different route, using the bodies of some of their fellow ants, often the larger-bodied ants of the colony called majors, to store what they need. Worker ants bring the honey or honeypot ants, things like nectar, water, body fluids and fats from prey such as caterpillars and termites, to store in case of drought or other times when resources are scarce. Depending on the size of the colony, there may even be thousands of these honeypot ants in a single nest, doing nothing but sitting there and waiting for their stored sustenance to be needed. As the other worker ants bring the liquid foods to the honeypot ants, their gasters, that's the rear portion of the ant, will swell larger and larger until they become so big that they can't move around. This isn't that that big of a deal for them, as they also tend to become so big that they wouldn't be able to leave the nest anyways, as the paths out are too small. These honeypot worker ants can even swell as large as a small grape. In order to retrieve food from the honeypot ants, other worker ants will stroke the antennae of the living storage vessels. When this happens, the honeypot ant will regurgitate a little of the sweet liquid that it has stored in its abdomen for that worker to eat or redistribute elsewhere, such as feeding the queen. Given the fact that honeypot ants contain such a rich source of tasty liquids inside themselves, they tend to be sought out by predators, even humans. As such, they usually are stored deep within the nest to protect them. Nevertheless, honey badgers and other such predators will seek out these swollen ants and eat them when they find them. Some Native American tribes, as well as Aborigines, were also known to regularly harvest honeypot ants, biting off the swollen abdomen for a sweet treat. It's also interesting to note that most species of ants actually have the ability to do something similar to honeypot ants, as they have two stomachs, one for their own use and one for storing food for the colony. This second stomach is capable of swelling a bit to hold liquids for transport back to the nest. Once back, they can then regurgitate this liquid for the other ants in the nest to consume. With honeypot ants, however, the storage organ is simply capable of expanding to a much larger volume than what is possible in most other types of ants. And now for some bonus ant facts. Some type of work.
Alright, so that is talking about honeypot ants, and I heard before that Native Americans would do that, but I tried looking it up and I didn't see like what Native American tribes, probably somewhere out west probably. Do you know specifically? Because I think we've talked about that before, JB.
Yeah, we have. I can't actually think off the top of my head what the name of the tribe was called, but it was the ones out towards sort of the deserts out in the Mojave and stuff like that, from what I remember.
But I was gonna say, if any of our listeners have actually eaten a honeypot ant, if you could definitely let us know what that's like. Definitely let us know what that's like if you have done that. I probably wouldn't eat an ant on purpose. On accident I have, but so honeypots are pretty cool. We definitely need to do a specific, an episode on them themselves. So that'd be cool if we did that soon. That'd be really cool, because there's so many species that we need to talk about, and we've kind of gone not really astray, but we've kind of taken our path of what kind of episodes we do, from talking about specific ant species and genuses. We've been doing interviews and other stuff, which has been good. But I think coming up soon we'll start to kind of weave back into focusing on the ants themselves, which is the show is about ants themselves as well. It's just I'd like to focus specifically on that, and do some raffles and do giveaways and stuff like that as well. So the next video I have here is about harvester ants, which after seeing this, I was like, yeah, I'm not putting my hand in my Pogo's Outworld. That's not happening. And this is why. I'll show you guys right now. So I have it time stamped. I have to.
That was some of the work.
Okay, I actually didn't go back. Let's see. So 5/23. All right, here we go. Let's start it here.
You're calling this.
Oh, come on. I hate when you try to start a video on YouTube and it goes to the ad automatically. Okay. Here we go, folks.
They've been here. We're in the right area. The harvester ant. Pagona.
Okay, really quick before we go into this video, I just want to say Kings of Pain is a show on the History Channel where these guys test out different bites and stings from different animals, especially insects. And this one is season 1, episode 3, where they talk about harvester ants, and it is brutal. So sorry for interrupting. Check this out.
Hold on, just before you drop this in, apparently it's the North American Onondaga tribe. So if anyone knows anything about them, I'd love to know a little bit more about it. Apparently they eat cicadas too.
Interesting. Could you put that link in the show notes and we can toss it in there?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so yeah, let's check out this Kings of Pain episode from the History Channel. Harvester Ants, Ants Attack, episode 3 of season 1.
Die. These
Um, two two things. I love that face. For those who are listening, you have to look at the video to see it. His face when he looks at his friend is just it's hilarious to see that look, but man, he's got to be in pain. He was saying like it gets worse. It gets worse. Like his nerves are probably like being like the venom is probably just going through his hand, and it's it just gives me goosebumps just to see that.
Did they say what species that was exactly?
It's let's see. It's not the species I keep. He did say in the beginning of it. Let me go back and see which one it is.
Because
No ants.
Pogonomyrmex maricopa, which probably has the most potent venom,
Yeah.
It can kill a human with about 350 stings, but it's only a 3 on the Schmidt scale,
Yeah.
which is the scale of pain.
Yeah. It's
Streams unavailable.
yeah, I can't really read that very well. It's like a camp, but yeah, it's not the. Bummer. It'll come back up. It sucks. But anyway, like when he was, holding them, picking them up with the tweezers, I had my mic was muted on accident. But I was trying to say was the fact that when I try to pick them up, or when not really pick them up, but when I try to like get their trash out of their foraging area, or if I try to do anything in there and they find it to be a threat, they will do exactly that. They will attack it, and thankfully I haven't been stung by one of them yet.
It's funny because Mesor have the same behavior. That if you start trying to take their trash away, and they're just like, "No, I will destroy you. This is my land." But thankfully, they just don't have that sting. So
Yeah, Lights Camera Ants. It's because
Pogonomyrmex do look more intense.
yeah, it got suspended because I think I went full screen on it, and that's probably why. But it's alright. I'll fix it later and upload it. But I don't know why it did that. It's probably why, but it doesn't. It should just come back up because this happened before last time, and it just it fixed it later. So, but
Yeah.
I do have a couple interesting facts on North American species. There's close to 1,000 species in North America, not just in the U.S., but in Canada and Mexico as well. And the ants in North America are relatively well studied in comparison to other regional faunas. What does this actually mean? While there are more species to be discovered and described, these new species will likely be mostly rare species and species that are part of some taxonomically difficult species groups. The latter remain one of the most vexing basic problems for this region, including a few of those most specious genre. Most notable are the Formica and the Myrmica. Biological information can be found for many species of ants that occur here, but there still remain more common holes in our knowledge than hard facts. So those are some interesting facts. I got both of those from AntWiki. So I'll definitely post that in the show notes, and it looks like the stream came back up. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, that's probably why I went down, because I went full screen on that on accidentally. So that happened last time as well. So is there anything you want to say about any other North American species? I know we've mainly covered. I mean, these here are in I think these were in, yeah, these were in Mexico, and a lot of the species that we have here in the U.S., a lot of them also are in Canada. Um, I'm not sure if there are any species in Canada that we don't have in the U.S. Other than like exotics that they can get in Canada compared to here in the U.S. Yet hopefully we'll get that. That will change hopefully, but we'll see. But that's pretty much all we got for that. Unless there's anything else that you'd like to touch on, JB.
Not really. I think we've covered
Yeah.
what I put.
Cool. So next time on Formicast Podcast, so for the rest of July, we're actually changing it up a little bit. So the content creator question and answer thing with Ants Manitoba, we're going to have to postpone that until August. Ants Manitoba is currently on vacation, and I think that kind of just went over our heads on the time. I thought it was Ants Britannia's interview next, and it wasn't. It was actually supposed to be the question and answer with Ants Manitoba for all those new beginner content creators that went advice and stuff that would give you guys an access to grow your channel and all that other stuff. And then, so basically what I'm thinking about is doing another Ant Quest for the next episode, which we've done Africa, we've done North America, South America. Have we done Europe? I don't think we've done Europe yet.
I think Europe's going to be a difficult one. We should perhaps think about breaking it down into Southern Europe, Eastern Europe, such as, because across the range of Europe, with there being so many different countries within Europe, the list is incredible.
Yeah, for sure. So we could do Asia. I think Asia is the next, either Asia or Australia. We'll probably do one of those, or we'll do a species highlight episode where we'll focus on a species or a genus. We'll talk about it between the two of us and try to figure out what we want to go with that. But after next week, we're doing an interview with Ants Britannia, which I thought it was this next week, but it's the following. And then the last weekend of July, Ant Antics UK is coming on for an interview, which is going to be a lot of fun. In August, we have another panel. It's going to be different, though. It's not going to be a question and answer thing. It's going to be more of a discussion where you guys will be able to hop in with us and actually talk to us about this next topic. The topic is ant keeping ethics for the everyday ant keeper. That is what it's going to be about. It's going to be talking about ethics. I know there's this thing going around right now called the We Don't Approve movement. I know that's a big thing, and I know a lot of people are divided about this. So I decided to take another swing at this and kind of talk about it differently. What this is about is ethics. When you're keeping pets, when you're keeping animals, there's ethics to it. How would you treat an animal like a dog or a cat or a bird differently? So that's what we're going to be talking about in the beginning of August. So all those content creators that are listening that want to talk about ethics of ant keeping, let us know. Email me at formicastpodcast@gmail.com. Definitely check out the website at formicastpod.com. Sorry. And then after that, we are doing a break week. So every time we do a panel, we are going to be taking a week off. So I'm going to be going to the east side of the state to hang out with one of my good friends, and I'm going to go fishing and hunting and just doing whatever out there. So that'll be a break week. The following week, we're going to be doing a new series, which is going to be called Antaholics. So that's all I'm going to say. But you guys will find out about it later on. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's just something that JB and I were talking about. We were talking about his show, and I was trying to help him, trying to figure out how to get his show up and get it going again. And we were just talking about stuff, and I was like, wait a minute. What is something that we like other than ant keeping? And alcohol came to mind. And I was like, wait a minute. There's got to be something we can talk about generally about ants while having a drink. Like right now, I'm enjoying a beer. For those who are underage, you guys can still listen about ants and have a laugh. That's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about laughing and enjoying the hobby. So it's going to be a one episode, possibly two. We'll see. Ants Hood, when you hear this, you're going to be...
But right now, I'll make Ants Hood proud because I've got a bit of the Hague Club whiskey here.
Nice. So we're both drinking. It's
like a
Independence Day.
fine Rido Panera. That's what I would say.
Right. So basically what it's going to be, I'll give a little teaser, is it's going to be a bit of comedy. It's going to be a bit of just random discussions while we enjoy a drink and hang out, and it's going to be fun. It's not going to be anything too serious. We just want to have a laugh and enjoy you guys, and yeah. So basically that's just
I'll
something...
warn you guys, you're definitely going to need a drink because my humor's pretty dry.
So yeah. So if you're listening and if you're underage, have a water, have a juice or a pop or a soda, whatever you guys call it over there. But it's just gonna be a lot of fun. It's nothing gonna be it's not gonna be crazy. It's just gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm excited to do this. Yeah, Hood. I told Hood this morning. I said, Hood, you are required to be there. I cannot do this episode without you. You have to be there. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. And then the following week we're not sure. But that would mean that the 1 year anniversary for McCast podcast will be coming up after that. So I got a couple things in mind for what that's gonna look like. We'll see what that will look like, but I know as soon as that happens, the Michigan Ant Together will be going on. So we'll see what that will look like, because I know I have to go to Ann Arbor and I need to meet up with some of the rest of the people there to catch some ants. I know it's still a couple months away, but I tend to schedule stuff ahead of time. But that's enough of me rambling about, because I tend to do that when I'm having a drink and hanging out with my friends. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out the website, formacastpod.com. Donate if you guys can donate. If you cannot afford it at this moment, please go to iTunes, leave a review. It helps us so much. But anyway, JB, why don't you go ahead and leave your link, and I'll do mine and we'll close out.
You can catch me on my blog site, www.thecolonialist.co.uk, because I'm from the UK. And from there you can catch all the relevant links to where you need to go. So that's how I leave it. Speaking of, I actually need to put the Formacast pod link into the website. So I'll do that on my way home.
Awesome. Alrighty, and for me, everywhere you can find me, of course, just go to formacastpod.com. It feels so good to just say formacastpod.com. That's all you need to know. So, alright, folks, I'm looking forward to this next episode, and we will see you guys on the other side. Have a good one. Happy Independence Day, baby!